Yeah, see the body.
I think it's not going to be long. I think they're locking your butt up, what I think. I think you've been lying to me this whole thing. You did get them right. I think you're a liar, what I think. I think you know exactly who did this, and I don't buy your freaking story for a minute.
Definitely did.
This is Samantha Wolford, a young mother, a wife, an aspiring YouTuber, and a cold-blooded killer.
I was asked to do a video of 15 weird things about me.
But behind that camera-ready smile lurked something far more sinister. She had just arrived at the sheriff's office for what seemed like a routine questioning. Why? Because her husband had been kidnapped in what she claimed was a brutal home invasion. But as the minutes ticked by, the case unraveled into something far darker. Light bulb rewind 6 years. Samantha was just 19, a single mother of twin girls, when she met 23-year-old Ernie Ibar Jr., known to friends as Doggone. Love blossomed quickly, leading to marriage, and together they had 3 children. On the outside, a struggling young couple try and make ends meet in Mount Pleasant, Texas. But behind closed doors, a marriage cracking under pressure. Fights escalated, resentment grew, and soon, things took a turn no one saw coming. February 20th, 2015, 2 a.m. A desperate 911 call shatters the night.
Cause County 911, what's your emergency?
I have a home invasion. My niece is tied up. I am at the verge of untying my niece at this particular moment.
Okay, she's tied up.
She is tied up and gagged.
And gagged? Is that what
Yes,
you said?
ma'am.
Is there anybody else there?
Where are the kids? We have 5 small infants asleep.
5 small infants asleep?
Yes, ranging from 7 to 1.
7 to 1 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Does she know,
Samantha, did you know who the suspects are?
Can I talk to her? Is she able to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Hi, Samantha. I know you're upset, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Do you need EMS?
No, they didn't do anything to me. They hit me once.
She's advising no. They only hit her once. Okay.
And I just asked my aunt if it was bruising or anything, and she said no, they hit me in the face.
Okay, they hit you in the face?
Yeah, they had me tied up, and they dragged me down the stairs to face my husband. And when my husband went in to face me, they hit me in the face, like, backhand slapped me. And so he looked at me then, and they said, I thought that would get your attention, and I want you to stare at this woman. Do you want us to kill her? And he said, no. And they said, then tell us the truth. And he said, I don't know anything.
When someone gives way too many details on a 911 call, this could be a warning sign that they may not be telling the truth. The purpose of a 911 call is to get help immediately. As Samantha is not currently in danger anymore, her primary focus should be on getting help finding her husband. Instead of requesting that officers be sent right away to search for him, she's telling an elaborate story about what supposedly happened. There's no sense of urgency in getting her husband found. If someone is lying on a call to emergency services, they may feel the need to offer up all these additional details because they want to support their lie. Samantha's love for acting isn't a secret, after all.
I've always wanted to be an actress. I think it is so much fun. I've been extras in movies. I've had small parts in like short films, and I've done plays. I think it is so much fun, and it is so beautiful. It is one of the most amazing forms of art ever, to be able to express yourself that way. I think it's amazing.
Members of the Titus County Sheriff's Office respond to the crime scene shortly after 2 a.m. immediately. An investigation into the violent home invasion and kidnapping of Ernie Ibar Jr. is launched.
Sheriff's Office.
I'm upstairs. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Here.
Are you still talking with Sheriff?
He told me that I have to stay.
Tell her you're here.
I did.
Okay.
She still put you on
She said
hold.
she still has a few questions for me before I can get off.
Let me have it and I'll take care of it, and you talk to them.
So, walk me through what happened.
I don't honestly know what happened. I was in bed asleep, and we heard a noise, and the second I was able to open my eyes, somebody grabbed me and jerked me out of the bed and slammed me down on the ground and started tying me up and put a knife to my throat and told me don't move.
Okay.
They were punching me over and over and over, and
officer is conducting a typical investigatory field interview at this point. However, these statements can be admissible in legal proceedings. The body camera footage can be reviewed by investigators, and inconsistencies discovered between initial contact and later interrogation.
One of them did say the name Luke, but that's it. That was all. That's only in identifying anything I've got. One of them said, "Hey, Luke," and the guy turned, but that's the only identifying anything I've got.
Samantha changing her voice to imitate the alleged intruder may be an attempt to dramatize the attack in order to make it appear more believable. Although her voice is emotional, she doesn't actually express much concern about Doggone, and instead seems focused on telling the story about everything that happened to her.
They kick the door and they come up these stairs and get them before they're even able to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's the only part that's getting me is how do you... They would have to either be familiar with the place to be able to do all that and know where they were asleep. And the babies are asleep. And they're in pitiful conditions.
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing a whole lot of blood, though, for somebody that was pistol whipped.
The fact that Samantha's husband was solely targeted and that both Samantha and her children were left unharmed seemed extremely suspicious to the police. This was made more suspicious by the fact that nothing was stolen from the home, making it difficult for the detectives to establish a motive for the crime.
They took his phone, but they didn't take mine. I had mine hidden. So I was able to...
So he's got his phone?
No, they have his phone.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. What's his phone number?
Samantha had revealed that her husband's phone was on him when they kidnapped him. This is a vital piece of information, as it could allow the officers to track his phone and find his location. However, when they tried this, they found out that Ernest's phone wasn't communicating with any cell phone towers nearby, meaning that the phone was more than likely switched off. Samantha reluctantly agrees to come down to the local police station for an interview. This is where the detectives would try and lock her into a story, while at the same time trying to get her to share more information that she may be hiding.
So they didn't take your phone in. They left your phone there.
They asked me if I had a phone, and I told them no. And they asked him,
So
and I told him no.
How'd you get to
I
it?
wiggled on my side.
Where was it?
The room.
Where was
I
it?
was on this side of the upstairs, and it was shoved up underneath the edge of the bed on this side of the upstairs.
Who did you call?
My mother was the first number on my call list. I just used my face. And
So instead of calling 911 for help, you called your mother?
how do you press 911 with your face?
Well, how did you dial your mother with your face?
I didn't dial my mother. I just pushed the first thing that was on there. It had just happened to be my mom.
You heard about what time it was when you went to bed?
I looked up at the clock and it was like 12:01, and I was like, yeah, you've got to get to bed because you have to be up in 5.5 hours. They said, do you want us to have to kill her too? And he said, no, please don't, how are my kids? And they hit him in the mouth. Are my kids okay? And they hit him in the mouth, and he said we wouldn't touch a child. And they flew out of his mouth. I don't know if it was a tooth or if it was just spit or blood. Something flew out of his mouth because they had the lights on down there. And that's when they started cutting my clothes off and making me stand in front of him naked.
The more the detective pushed her for answers, the more information she started to give voluntarily. Despite what the detective was telling her, if she had known about the attack and the people involved before the incident, Samantha would officially go from being a scared victim of a home invasion to an accomplice.
You know what? You know what I think? I think it's not going to be long. I think they're locking your butt up, what I think. I think you've been lying to me this whole thing. You did get them right. I think you're a liar, what I think. I think you know exactly who did this, and I don't buy your freaking story for a minute. That's what I think. So I tell you what, let's do. Let's just get on with it. That's why I say I've tried to really be honest with you.
And that's why
I feel that you have done nothing but sitting here this whole time. If I'm gonna tell you right now, DPS is damn good to them. If you ain't got nothing to hide, and what bothers me is you even hesitate to take that knowing it would positively clear you or to positively show that you're hiding something. But what's gonna make you guilty is when we prove that you lied to us in there.
That is the case that I do know who did it and why they did it.
Okay.
Doesn't that make me like an accomplice?
Nope, it sure don't. No, that makes you a scared mother with children.
You know, only other thing I know, and I don't even know if I know.
Okay.
But it's a suspicion.
Okay.
I've been up at the hospital with my friend Charlotte.
Okay.
And she's got a guy there, and I swear to God, I cannot go up there that I said any of this.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of friends around here, and my life will be in a lot of danger.
Okay.
But the only other thing I know is venting to her and talking to her about problems. Like I just told you, I have a problem with talking to my friends about our problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have many of them. So when I do get with one of my friends, I want to talk about any problems we might have had. And honestly, lately, it hasn't been many.
Okay.
We have had problems in the past, and I hadn't seen Charlotte in a long time.
Okay, come on with it.
And she's got this guy in the room with her, and he gets to talking about how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way, and how you don't do those things to a person, and he's going to deal with the situation. I didn't take him seriously.
Okay, you see, Sam, you know who did this, but that does not make
But I
you
don't
guilty.
have any proof that he did. I just have what he said.
Okay, who is this guy?
His name's John.
John who?
His Facebook is Rebel, John Rebel. It's John, I don't truly know his last name, but his Facebook says John Rebel. He's got a brother named Greg. He's got a really bad history as far as...
Who's Greg?
I was told he's an informant. I don't know Greg's last name
Where
either.
does John live?
I don't know. I know that he's been staying with Charlotte.
So if he did this, who do you think he'd bring with him?
I don't know any of his friends. But yesterday at the hospital, he had a guy that I do know from town with him. His name is Tay.
Who?
Tay Rhymes.
Did they do something to let you know that there was them inside that house?
Not 1,000% particular, but I'm pretty sure it was him. The height and the weight and the way he was talking all gangster.
You pull yourself together and get to writing, and we need to arrest these folks and keep them off the street where they can't hurt you and your children.
There was a third person with him.
Okay, who do you think it was?
He's got people that's staying with him.
John Rebel?
When they were in the hospital before this happened at my house.
Yes.
Tay was with him. There was another guy, I don't know his name, but he pretty much fits the bill of the third guy.
There was three people?
Yes, at the house there was 3 people. And at the hospital yesterday, you can look at the cameras, there was 3 people.
So they'll have them on the video camera there at the hospital?
At the hospital, yes.
Okay.
There was Tay and that guy and this third party. The one that I said was basically like the ringleader that was bossing everybody around. The other 2 really didn't talk much other than a word here and there. But it was the big guy. The third party that was at the hospital.
The only thing I know about the heavy-set dude is they called him JoJo, but they told me that wasn't his name. They said I believe they said it was Jose.
When the detectives arrived at the hospital, they managed to find both Jonathan Sanford and Jose Potts. Octavius Rhymes, however, was nowhere to be seen. They proceeded to arrest both Jonathan and Jose and took them back to the police station for an interview.
John, you know what this is about, buddy. You know exactly what it is. You know what happened over at Samantha's house last night. That's what we want to talk to you about, okay? I'm on Randize. You know your rights. You don't have to talk to me if you don't want to, and that's fine. I hope you decide to, because I think there's some things you're probably going to need to tell me. Your side of the story. And see if it's going to match Samantha's. Because Samantha, well, I'll be honest with you, she's pointing the finger at JoJo. She said you was with him. Now, do you want to talk to me just a little bit about this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you what they're saying first. Because I think you'll be honest, because our bear's dead. He's dead. But now, according to Samantha, you was just a bystander. Why JoJo beat the living crap out of him up in that room where we got all the blood and collecting evidence.
Okay, this all started yesterday, like you said. Yeah, we talked to her about her problem with her husband and all that. Never did I plot to kill the guy. I have a problem with males hitting females.
And I do too.
She did say that there's been times it's crossed her mind to do stupid shit, this and that.
Like what?
Like, basically, like, get somebody to f them off. Like, not kill them, but like just beat the out of them, set them up, shit like that, right? And I told her, I said, well, damn. I said, you're talking to somebody that could do that, but I wasn't going to, though. JoJo had the keys. He was passenger seat.
In front?
Yeah, passenger.
Who was driving?
I drove because...
Okay. Who was with you?
It was me, JoJo, and the dude in the back seat I have never seen a day in my life. Except for, I do know...
What's his name?
All I know is he was related to Tay.
Yeah, because I think I know who he is.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I have seen him because I have been running around Pittsburgh, but unless they live on Cypress Street, I don't know who they are.
Okay, I got you. Okay, well, go ahead. Y'all all three together.
So,
you was driving, but you didn't have the keys.
Didn't have the keys, and I really didn't have a choice because I like my life.
Jonathan is really putting this whole thing off on you, and said that you're the one that wanted to go in there, and he kept saying that you said something about like maybe you had a bad dope deal that went bad.
I don't even know. Matter of fact, I specifically told them when she told me who her husband was, right there in Octavius' house. Mm-hmm. When she told me his name, I told her. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know him.
Who pulled the trigger then?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, Sanford, and Jose Ponce were asked to guide the officers to the location of Ernest's body. After kidnapping Ernest, Sanford informed the officers that they had taken him to the woods, where they brutally beat him and then shot him, leaving his naked body there.
Yeah, see the body. See there? Yeah. That's him. Definitely did. Okay. What we need to do now, oh yeah, he's dead. He's not gonna be alive. What we need to do now is two of us need to break off and take him and use the recorder and let's go get that gun.
When the detectives examined Samantha's phone records, they discovered that she had been in frequent communication via text with all three perpetrators, discussing the plan for the stage home invasion and how to avoid getting caught. This, along with the confessions of both Jonathan and Jose, was enough to arrest all four perpetrators for the murder of Ernest Ibarra. Jose Ponce, who was the shooter, and Jonathan Sanford reportedly entered guilty pleas in April 2016 and received 50-year prison sentences each. That same year, in December, Octavius Rhymes went on trial. He was found guilty on all charges and received a 93-year prison sentence in October 2017. Samantha Wolford was put on trial and received a 99-year prison sentence.